Good morning. I'm going to be tying just a basic one feather fly today. So I've got my fly in the vise already. Very small hook. Sorry, I don't have the fly in the vise, I have the hook in the vise. Very small hook. This is a Tiemco 5212 number 16. So the idea behind this fly, a lot of guys, I never actually did this, but because I never took multiple day fishing trips, but a lot of guys will carry their vise and their tying materials with them. And it's important because if you get out on the river and you're fishing with the flies that you have and you don't have something that's catching fish and you see the fish are eating something that you don't have with you, you can tie something that looks like what they're eating and then be successful. So this fly is an example of having your tying thread and a feather and a hook on your person and being able to tie a quick fly that you can then use to be successful. So set that feather right there. This is kind of heavy thread for this, but I'm going to be using the thread for the body, so it'll be helpful because I'm going to use that to build the body and I want to use less thread. Oh. Just run it down to the end of the hook, to the bend. Snip off a little bit of trash. Now I'm going to take my feather. I'm going to use this whole feather here, but I also want to use it for the tail. So I don't want to remove too much here. I'm going to remove this webby part here. Right. Okay, then I'm going to take these longer strands on the end. Take a few of these. Okay. Got a few strands, not too many. Put those in place. So the idea here is to pinch it with your finger and thumb and then pull it down on the barbs. Like that. And then this is going to be a very quick fly. And you just wrap forward. I'm going to go back and forth a little bit to build up a little bit more of a body here. I guess you could say this is similar to a quill Gordon or something. Quill Gordon is a fly that you tie and you take the barbs and you put them in, and then you tie in a quill, the quill part of the quill part of the feather, the shaft part. You tie that in and then you wrap it around as the body. You tie it in from the thin end and you wrap it towards the thick end, and it makes the body taper thicker. So it's similar to that, but I'm just using thread to do it because I'm going to use that feather. Now another thing that you can do is if you're ever in a pinch and just need a fly, period, be it matching the hatch or not, you can just look around the river and scavenge for a feather somewhere and just tie a fly if you need a fly. Okay, now I've got that done. I want this to still get bigger as it moves forward. So I'm going to flare these out. Just run my finger backwards so they flare out. Out of that end, I'm going to trim off to a little stump. Tied in at an angle, and it's better to do a little bit like that, downward angle. This is going to be kind of a big fluffy thing here because of the quill that I chose, but it's fine. I don't tend to mind them being big like that. And you just wrap it. It's laying down. Just going to do touching turns. See, it's starting to lay on top of itself, and I don't want that. As it goes, I'm going to lay it back. And make sure that I'm wrapping forward on it. And you just brush it back every time you turn it. You can go back into it a little bit. And then back forward. And I'm leaving myself a little bit of a space for tying in a head. I think that's going to be good right there. Just because this feather is so big. Got my bobbin really tight and it's pulling on that hook. It's okay too, as long as it doesn't bend. There. Now, pull this back. Kind of like brushing a kid's hair. You just pull it back and slick it down a little bit, not too much. Biggest thing is I want to have room to make a head here. Go ahead and tie in a half hitch. Through the first loop, grab the string, pull it through. There's where I want it. Do that again. That should be good. It's not the prettiest head in the world, but it works. There. Now, I'm going to use my my nail polish. Normally, I finish the fly with nail polish, but you see this brush is very thick. So normally I take the bristles out of the brush and put in a needle So I have a smaller point. So I'm going to use this piece of feather. Come on, there's some. I'm going to use this piece of feather to get some polish to apply to the head. Underneath. There. Almost stuck the feather in the fingernail polish bottle. Okay, and there you have it. So, hard to see there. Got something into that quill is hanging out still. Never had that happen. Snip that off. There. Okay. And there's a finished fly. Just a single feather, quick little fly. Can fluff this out some more. So this fly could be, it could stay a dry fly, just fluffing it out like that, and dressing the feathers, keeping them dry as you cast. But you could also slick it back like it was, and just let it get wet and drag it under the water. And sometimes that, I found a lot of times if they weren't rising, you could catch a fish that way too. So anyway, so there's a one feather fly pattern. Again, if you're in a pinch, if you're at the river and you're fishing and you see a feather, see a fly, a hatch that you don't have a fly to match, you can always throw, grab a feather that matches the fly and throw some stuff on there real quick. I mean, that took me 12 minutes, but I could have easily done that in 2 or 3 if I wasn't trying to be careful and show it on the video. So anyway, there's a one feather fly, and I hope you enjoy it. Give it a try. Check out the rest of my videos, like and subscribe or whatever. I don't get money for any of these, but it is enjoyable to see people watching and commenting, whatever. So check it out. Have fun tying. Don't be afraid of expensive materials or special materials. Just try it. Have a good one.